War Eagle, and welcome to another edition of Ever to Podcast. This is our regular audio show here at E2C Network, where our goal is to catch you up and inform you on the latest Auburn-related news, discussions, scuttlebutt across social media, and when you're out and about amongst the Auburn family, and it's all about the Auburn experience, which to us is Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff, an easier way to say it. If it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us in what we're going to be doing today, episode 53 of Ever to Podcast. Today's date is August 19th, 2025. And boy, oh boy, this first episode after this weekend and this Monday and now Tuesday that we're doing this on, I'm going to be honest with you guys. We're actually skipping a big story that broke today on Tuesday. So probably you're even anticipating me talking about that first thing. You're going to have to come back tomorrow for that one because there's too much to jam pack into this one episode in this quick, informative show that we typically do. So yes, if you feel like I missed something on today's show, there's a reason for it. It's coming back tomorrow. Let's start off with this. I always want to give you guys what happened over the weekend as best we can in quick sound bites in terms of sports and things like that. Over the weekend, Auburn sports that were in action, soccer and volleyball. Soccer did have its first official match last Thursday, and we did our last episode last Thursday. Did lose in a heartbreaker to Louisville in the first game of the James Armstrong era. And then they did have a 0-0, meaning 0-0 finish with Samford on Sunday, which was quite the defensive battle, quite a defensive effort by goalie Yapo. She's brand new to Auburn as the goalkeeper. You should definitely go check out that highlight. We've shared it out there as well. But it is a 0-1-1 start for the Auburn soccer team. Not the most ideal thing, but they've at least got the ball rolling in this new era. And volleyball had their orange and blue or blue and orange scrimmage against each other to sort of kick off the season. It's a preseason thing of sorts. So that was the in-action news for you this weekend. The big story that we're going to start off with today, though, we're going to talk about the big announcement on Monday. There have always been some very revered and retired numbers among those for football, among those being the number 88, the number 7, the number 34, and then there have been others that have been honored in other ways. And yesterday really, we got the announcement officially the number 2 will be retired for Auburn football in honor of Cam Newton. This one has been a long time coming in the sense that everybody, I think, recognized this is the day that we were heading towards, or the moment that we were heading towards. This is an honor that was very much warranted, deserved. And this is something that is, yes, an honor mainly about what Cam accomplished here as an Auburn Tiger, but even beyond that, what he accomplished as an NFL guy. Now he's moving into more media and personality things. He's still very prevalent out there as a Auburn celebrity status of sorts. He has had quite the career thus far in his still young life, and he is getting a big honor from Auburn to have the number 2 retired in his honor. It will take place at the Georgia game, which is very appropriate given that he is originally from Georgia. And I think that's a little bit of a nod and a wink to the Bulldogs as they come in. Another reason to hype up that nighttime Georgia game, first time in so long that it's happening. Auburn and Georgia in Jordan-Hare at night. I purchased my tickets yesterday. I waited to see if the tickets would come down for a while now. And then when I saw that news drop, I said, get it now. So it is happening, folks. And we're going to be there and excited to see that number officially, or whatever they do to do it on that day. I don't know if they actually raise a banner up on that day or something, or just walk him out there on the field and bring a banner up later, but hopefully they'll do something spectacular for him. There has been some commentary around this in the vein. I think Austin and I will discuss a little bit more detail. Should this have happened sooner, or is this warranted? All those things. I think we can certainly have big conversations about that, but it's probably best served in a more drawn out format, which we do on the Auburn Experience podcast, which, by the way, you should go check out. Episode 138 out now. All right, let's talk about our next topic. We'll keep on the honors scope here in terms of something that also happened at the beginning of, or the end, of last week. Bo Jackson will be honored for his 40th anniversary of his Heisman Trophy at the Iron Bowl. And that is kind of continuing the theme of what you've seen here. There's a lot of honoring of things that are happening, and something that'll carry over into next episode tomorrow when we do that one. of recognizing special things this year for Auburn football. It gets the feeling that we're moving into a new era, looking back and honoring some of these things. You got Bo Jackson and the Iron Bowl going to be honored. Cam's going to be honored at the Georgia game. You've got Pat Dye game for the first one. Homecoming is always a way to honor just the Auburn family in a sense. So there's a lot happening this year at football games that I think there's going to be a lot to be excited about. So make sure you're getting tickets. If you're not, be sure to use SeatGeek code E2C Network. All smashed together, one word. If you ever want to support us in that way, it'll get yourself a few dollars off of your ticket purchase, as long as it's 50 or more. All right, other news that I want to also talk about, and this is getting lost in just all of the other sports news of this week. It is officially the beginning of another academic and athletic calendar year for Auburn University. Now, some of you will say, well, the year always begins in January. No. Let's be honest. We all feel like fall is when things officially begin, and we kind of count it for a complete year. And summer is kind of that thing that gets us over to that, and we still even count that in the previous year pretty much. So an official brand new year for Auburn University is underway. Classes began. We've already seen pictures of different departments and different groups celebrating that. Aubie was out there, the president. I thought did a really funny video making fun of the whole concept of Haley being confusing. They even put out a graphic about that for students again and for everybody to see. So I'm still convinced that there's people stuck to this day in the Haley Center that we are never, ever going to be able to find, which is it's a bad joke that runs forever and ever. But honestly, if you've ever been in Haley Center, you'll understand. But this just evokes in me thinking back to those first few days and how exciting it was, because if you were especially a freshman, you really weren't getting into the nitty gritty of your classes until at least until the end of that week, or even, beyond into that. You were trying to just get your feet set. You were getting syllabuses. You were going to different groups and going on the concourse, having people hand out flyers, join this, join that, stuff like that. So it does always take you back to that time and place. Me as a graduate of 2011, I was during a very special time, obviously, which is kind of ironic given how we started the show today talking about that. But I'd love to hear from you. This is one of those shows where I really ask for some participation, either in the social media aspect of it or through email or whatever. We just want to hear from you, your stories about your time at Auburn. This is always a great time where we all go back and look at those things in a nostalgic way. So if you ever want to share with us what you studied, when you graduated, all that kind of stuff, always hit us up on social media, e2cnetwork@gmail.com. And let me give you a little bit of information that also came out and has already started for you, the Auburn fans. I know a lot of you love to listen to Tiger Talk. They do have this show that they do weekly throughout the year, typically, given some certain parameters and things like that. If there is some overflow, especially when sports seasons start to collide, that being fall or winter to spring, that can get a little bit dicey. But usually the Tiger Talk aspect mainly happens in the most regular sense in the fall into the early winter type of situation, and even a little bit beyond that. They have announced that their fall Tiger Talk schedule the last week, and they already began it. The first one was last night at the Graduate Hotel downtown, which if you've ever been up there, you've seen really quickly. But they're going to have one every week at 6 p.m., the majority of those being at Baumhauer's Victory Grill, where they typically are. There are going to be some which are called in studio, so I'm assuming that is probably where you've seen a lot of their podcasting and media creation being a couple times, that being the September the 29th through November the 10th. So the August 18th through November 24th, 6 p.m., those are Mondays, yes, I believe. You're going to be wanting to tune into Tiger Talk if you want to hear from the coaches and see what's going on aside from what you're seeing for yourselves. Keep in mind, though, as we talked about seasons overlapping, November is a time where things get really dicey with basketball really getting going, and so there can be some challenges to get that pulled off on the exact time and date, so that could change when November arrives. But you, the Auburn family, are now informed about what you need to do to stay informed with Tiger Talk and so much else this fall season. It's here, folks. We're getting geared up. It's officially begun, and we're excited to be bringing the news to you across this show, Everett Podcast, and the main show, the Auburn Experience. Episode 138 is out now. Go check that out. We gave you our first half football previews of each game with a prediction as well. Second half coming up next week, along with looking ahead to Baylor officially. So plenty of that on last week's show. So go check that out now. Subscribe, download wherever you get it, Spotify, all those good things. We appreciate you guys that have already done that. Thank you for hanging out with us today here at Everett Podcast and E2C Network, where we share the Auburn experience. Until we talk to you again, War Eagle.